Hey, how's it going, everyone? I'm Nathan with the ebookreader.com. For this review, we got the new entry-level Kindle for 2019. It's available in white and black. It's a lot like the previous model, but they did upgrade the screen. It's got a higher contrast Carta screen now, but better yet, they added a Frontlight, so that's a pretty big deal. It's definitely a big improvement over the previous entry-level models. And then we've also got a slightly new design here. It's got a little bit more rounded corners, a little bit more comfortable to hold, smaller form factor. You got the Amazon logo on back. You got the older micro USB port on the bottom, the power buttons on the bottom as well, along with a charging indicator. So the front light is the biggest addition to this new entry-level model. You can also turn it off if you want. So this is what it looks like with it off. This is how the previous entry-level Kindles looked, the similar screen with the 167 ppi. So the front light does make a big difference, and it's not just at night, because this is a well-lit room right here, and it just adds some added contrast as well, makes the screen a little bit lighter in the background, makes the text stand out a little bit more with the front light on. So it definitely provides a big advantage. It makes the entry-level Kindle a lot closer to the Kindle Paperwhite in terms of features, but it's a lot cheaper at $89 instead of $129. But this model has the lower resolution screen. It doesn't have the waterproofing like the Paperwhite, and it has just 4 gigabytes of storage space instead of 8 or 32 on the Paperwhite. So let's talk about the software features now. You got the different options for the home screen. So the one on the left is like the default home screen where you got the scrolling down to the like a recommended reading. But you can also set it up into settings so it just goes to your library view by default like this. And then you've got some new filter options with this newest software here. You've also got the read and unread option now. So you can go in here and filter just by the specific categories for like comics. So this is just the downloaded section for what you have downloaded. You can also view all. So you got the 2 different sections for that. And then you got all your different subsections for your like Audible audiobooks. This device supports Audible audiobooks as well. You can set it up to stream to Bluetooth speakers or headphones and listen to your audiobooks. You can scroll through your library. You can also jump to the different pages by hitting the numbers in the lower corner there. And then you've also got the different sorting options for recent title author. You can also set up different collections if you want. So with this new filter, if you X out of that, it'll just go back to the default view. Another view you have as an option on the Kindle home screen here is your list view. So if you want to just view a list of your books instead of all the book covers, then it also has these dots at the bottom, kind of gives you a visual representation of how long the books are compared to each other. And then if you hold down on a title, you get some extra options. You can add it to a collection. You can search your books. You can mark them as read or unread. At the bottom of the screen here, you can see the ads. That's the special offer models that are $20 cheaper. And then it also has ads on the lock screen when they're turned off. But when you have the books open here, you don't have those ads showing. So even though it's the least expensive Kindle, it still has like 95% of the same software features as the more expensive Oasis and Paperwhite. There's just a couple exceptions I'll talk about a little bit here. You still have all the same font adjustment settings. You got this theme option that they recently rolled out with an update a while ago, so you can set different themes on here and have easy access to go back and forth between different settings, which you can set here in the font menu with your different fonts, your different layouts. You got the different left alignment, justified alignment. You got landscape mode is an option, so you can set all these up as a theme and easily switch back and forth like just with using this option right here instead of having to go through and reset everything. You can also sideload fonts on here. I don't have any on here at the moment, but that's a feature they added a while back. You got this estimated reading indicator for the bottom down here, and then you also got the option to show a clock while you're reading that shows up there in the center. Again, you got the theme option over here. You can rename your theme, set up some different ones. You can actually hide the presets if you don't want to use those. So here's another thing I wanted to mention. You can actually set the page to fully refresh like the Kindle on the left is doing. There's an option for it in settings, or you can have it just do the smooth refresh like the Kindle on the right. You can use the pinching gesture to quickly increase and decrease the font size without having to go into the menu to adjust it. You got the usual dictionary lookup option. If you hold down on a word, it'll pop up the dictionary window. You can also tap on the full dictionary link there and open up the full dictionary. You can swipe over to the Wikipedia entry, and there's also the option to use translations on here. They did add a few extra languages here recently. You can switch to all these different translations. It does require an internet connection to use the translation feature, obviously Wikipedia as well. So you can also add notes, highlights like usual. If you wanted to add a text note to a highlighted word, you can just pop up this window and add a text note to it. Then you can also export this stuff. It also gets added to a clippings file. And if you just tap onto it, you can actually open up your full notes window. You can also access the table of contents from there. You got the option to export the notes at the bottom. And then you can jump around your book using the table of contents. And if you use the back button, it'll take you back. With bookmarks, you can tap the upper right corner and hit that bookmark icon. You can add or remove bookmarks by tapping on the right there. It shows the little icon to add and remove. And then so when you tap on one, it'll show you this window like a preview. And then if you go there, it'll take you to that window again. If you hit the back button, it'll take you back to where you were previously. If you swipe up from the bottom, it'll open up the multi-page window. So you can view one page at once or 9 pages at once. And then you can use this to quickly scan through your book. You can also use these little arrows down here to jump chapters. If you hit down here in the lower right, you can switch between the little estimated reading timer, which shows you how much time you got left in the chapter and in the book. Also, you can see the percentage read. So the Kindles, they have this couple advanced features here. You got the vocabulary builder, you got the word wise. Both are designed to help you learn more difficult words. With the vocabulary builder, you got the flashcards you can scroll through. With the word wise, you got these different hints above the word. You can kind of adjust how many hints there are. And then you've also got the option to turn these on and off. You don't have to use these if you don't want to. One of the advantages with Kindles over some of the other models is highlighting always works a lot better on Kindles for whatever reason than it does on other devices. You can even highlight across pages without a problem. It makes it nice and easy. It's nice and accurate to adjust your highlights. They're also easily exportable. So some devices, a lot of devices, in fact, they don't even have an option to export your highlights. So definitely a plus for the Kindles. You also got the usual search. You can search the book, search your library. There's some different options. You can use the search bar at the top, or you can just highlight a word and run a search for more instances of it in the book and go around your book. Let's go ahead and look at some different forms of content. So we talked ebooks. You can also have magazines and comics on here, but with the lower resolution screens, probably not the greatest option. I mean, it still works, but it does have a little bit more pixelation. Like when you're using a comic, a little harder to read the text balloons than it is like on the Kindle Paperwhite. They're just a little bit fuzzier and less sharp with the lower resolution screen. But it is usable, and you can use that panel view to go panel by panel. With the magazines, you have a different kind of layout than you do with ebooks. You got the different sections here. You can navigate differently. It doesn't have like all the same font adjustment options. It doesn't have the bold option for one. And then you have some different options here. Like you don't have the landscape mode for some odd reason. But you do have, the spacing margins options. And then you've got the dictionary. So a lot of the same stuff for the magazines with ebooks, but things work a little bit different as far as navigation. You got the option to clip articles. You can view the different sections and see which articles are available in each different subsection here, and then navigate around the magazine that way. You can also zoom in on images. This applies to ebooks as well. So if you hold down on an image, you can view it full screen. Kindles support PDF files as well. You can load them in with a USB cable, or you can send them to your Kindle wirelessly. So with the lower resolution screen, probably not the best option, the entry-level Kindle, because obviously with PDFs, you're going to be dealing with a lot smaller fonts. You do got that contrast adjustment tool to make the font appear darker, and then you can use the landscape mode to get a view of the screen, like half the screen at once, to get this font size larger. Obviously, the default view, it's going to be hard to read PDFs a lot with a smaller 6-inch screen, and the lower resolution is going to be a lot more pixelated than it is on some other devices. You can zoom in using the pinching gesture. You can scroll around the screen that way. So there's not a whole lot of options with PDFs on Kindles. So something like an Onyx Books is going to be a lot better for PDFs. But the Kindles are serviceable if you just want to use some basic PDF reading on them. You got the Kindle store, of course. You got the Audible store as well, since these devices support Audible. You got Goodreads support on here, so you can link your Goodreads account. So overall, like I said, you got all the same features on here, basically, that the higher end Kindles have. So I mean, it's a good value for under $100 with the added Frontlight. I mean, the screen resolution isn't the greatest. It's a little bit pixelated compared to some of the other models, and you do not get the inverted mode like you do on the Kindle Paperwhite and the Kindle Oasis, which is kind of a bit odd. I know some people like reading with the inverted mode. You also don't have the option to disable the touchscreen except for page turns like you have on the Paperwhite. So overall, I do like the new Kindle more than I thought I would. Even though it does have the lower resolution display, the Frontlight does help make the screen look a lot better. I think it's a big advantage over the previous entry-level Kindles without a light. I also like the new design. It's smaller and it's a little bit more comfortable to hold. It's got a little bit of texture on the plastic that feels nice. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video right here. Check out the ebookreader.com if you want to see a comparison between this and the Kindle Paperwhite 4. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.